Relationships can be, without a doubt, one of the most beautiful, deeply rewarding aspects of our entire lives. But let's be totally honest here. They are also the exact places where we find ourselves tested the absolute most. They're the reason we occasionally just want to pull our hair out, right? But if you're joining me for this explainer today, you're likely someone who truly values connection. You want to grow, and not just for your partner's sake, but for yourself too. Whether you're currently in a relationship, navigating life after a breakup, or even if you're single and just kind of curious about the dynamics of love, your desire to improve is incredibly commendable. So, this brings us to a pretty massive central question. How can you actually become a better partner to foster a happier, healthier relationship? In this explainer, we're going to explore a very specific roadmap for this. We're going to scale all the way from internal self-reflection right on out to external relational actions. Okay, let's dive into this. The absolute core philosophy of the source material we're unpacking today is that the transformation begins with you. It is a fundamental truth that you just cannot fix a relationship without taking a moment to look inward first. You really have to start with yourself before you go trying to fix the dynamic between you and someone else. To get us there, we're going to follow a really clear 5-part, inside-out framework designed to make you a much better partner in the coming year. We'll look inward first, master emotional regulation, ditch the mind-reading myth, embrace your partner's flaws, and finally, speak their love language. Starting right off with step 1. Look inward first. Examine yourself before fixing the relationship. So before you try to fix a dynamic, you actually have to ask yourself some brutally honest questions. Are you fully present? Do you get defensive? Maybe your partner feels unheard, or perhaps they feel like you're being emotionally distant. And look, if they've mentioned these things, don't brush off their complaints. Really think about how your actions are impacting your relationship. I absolutely love this quote from our source material because it sums it up perfectly. Self-awareness is where transformation begins. Simply recognizing the specific areas you need to work on, rather than just, dismissing their concerns, literally gets you halfway to your goal. It's the foundation of everything else we're going to talk about today. Moving on to step 2, master emotional regulation, keeping cool in conflict. Now, we all know that during conflicts, emotions can easily take the wheel. But learning to regulate those emotions is absolutely essential for resolving issues in a healthy way. Because when emotions take control, it's so easy to resort to yelling or, sending those notoriously toxic passive-aggressive texts. When you're triggered, you need a strategy. And this brilliantly illustrates what you can do. First, take a deep breath or take a timeout. And yes, timeouts work on adults too. This allows you to come back to the conversation with a completely clear mind, ready to resolve the issue calmly. Second, find a calm and respectful tone. Remember, it's not just what you say, it's how you say it. And third, validate their emotions, even if you don't fully agree with them. The goal here is to focus on making each other feel heard instead of defending your actions or assigning blame. Step 3. Ditch the mind-reading myth. Open communication. Okay, have you ever been incredibly upset with your partner, but they seem to have absolutely no idea why? We tend to build this relational bridge in our minds where we just wish they had supernatural powers to know why we're upset. But the reality is, they don't. As relationship expert Esther Perel points out, your partner cannot read your mind, so you have to tell them what's in your heart. You have to be open about your feelings, your needs, and your insecurities, even when it feels super uncomfortable to do so. Withholding your feelings and expecting them to just guess, that's a trap, and it leads to massive resentment. Let's look at an anecdote directly from our source material that highlights this perfectly. There was this couple where the wife felt completely overwhelmed by chores after becoming a stay-at-home mom. Her husband just assumed she could handle everything, so gradually he just stopped helping. And she didn't say anything because she genuinely thought he should just get it. So she suffered in silence, assuming the workload was obvious. But guess what? He had absolutely no idea she was struggling. The solution only came when she finally told him how she felt. Once she spoke up, he immediately apologized and began helping again. Clear and regular communication is exactly what makes both partners feel heard, supported, and understood in scenarios just like this. You have to vocalize what you need. Which brings us to step 4, embrace your partner's flaws, empathy, and growth. Let's be real for a second. Nobody is perfect, and that is entirely okay. Accepting each other's imperfections is a massive part of love. Relationship experts note that our partners actually often trigger our own unmet needs. If your partner triggers those needs, say by constantly running late, our default reaction is getting super annoyed and criticizing them. Let's move to and see how this builds into something better. Shift that to teamwork instead. Try suggesting a solution like, hey, how about we set reminders and leave 15 minutes earlier next time? This brilliantly shifts the focus from destructive criticism to uniting as a team to solve the problem together. Acceptance isn't about ignoring bad habits. It's about loving them while encouraging mutual growth. And finally, step 5, speak their love language, empathy and external action. To be a great partner, you really need empathy and patience, especially during tough times. Both of you are going to have moments where you aren't at your best. And patience doesn't mean excusing bad behavior. It means you respond thoughtfully instead of impulsively. When they're going through a rough patch, resist the urge to immediately jump in and fix things. Sometimes they really just need you to listen. Asking this vital question, how can I support you right now, helps you get a much better sense of what they actually need, offering thoughtful, calm support rather than bulldozing them with unsolicited solutions. And part of offering that support is understanding how they receive love. Dr. Gary Chapman, author of The 5 Love Languages, explains that each person feels most loved through one or two primary ways. These are words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. For instance, if their language is acts of service, simply making breakfast or helping with chores makes them feel so cherished. If it's quality time, simply being present with absolutely no distractions, even just for a few minutes, will make them feel profoundly loved. So the crucial point is this. You must focus on showing love in the primary way your partner feels it, rather than defaulting to your own preferred way. If you prefer physical touch, but they need words of affirmation, well, giving them a hug when they really just need to hear they are valued, it won't translate. Speaking your own love language instead of theirs consistently leads to unmet needs and deep frustration. To bring all of this together and truly become a better partner in 2025, you have to actively avoid relationship-destroying behaviors, things like constant fighting, a lack of support, criticism, and hostility. Instead, you've got to consciously nurture the habits that create a healthy bond, making positive memories, establishing mutual respect, fostering intimacy and good communication, and above all, making each other feel valued. Don't just focus on what's wrong, take the time to genuinely appreciate each other. We have covered a lot of ground today, from looking inward and regulating emotions to ditching the mind-reading myth and finally speaking your partner's true love language. But I want to leave you with a provocative thought to ponder on your own journey of relationship growth. Ask yourself, what is one quality you think makes someone a great partner? Reflect on that, apply these steps, and hey, here's to a year of healthier, stronger, and much more connected relationships.